Hello and welcome to today's video. This is going to be my 2021 book statistics and an overall look at my reading year and how it's gone and just different bits and bobs really. I feel like a lot of people do these sort of videos and like a lot of creators do them, and I don't know who it like originally came from, but I will say that this video, my video, and this entire like setup, how I've got it, is really inspired. And I mean, this part is essentially copied from how Books and Lala has done her videos over the last few years. So yeah, I saw how cool this looked behind and I was like, I want to do that. That looks really cool. In fact, I did do a snippet before I added the colours on the top. I did do a quick snippet of like how cool it looked before I put the books on the top that had too many colours in the spine to match one thing. So I'll insert that now. I just wanted to pop in and say, look how nice these looked before I'm having to pop the ones on the top that don't have just one colour on the spine and don't fit in. I just think this looks so cool. And I would also like to mention all the books that are behind me are all of the books that I read in 2021 in the last year. However, there are 3 that are missing. I had 2 ebooks this year that I don't own, and I lent 1 book out to a friend. So except for that, they are all here, but there are 3 books missing. But oh well, it doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to mention it. I would also like to mention there are some books behind me that are by a controversial author. They haven't featured in any other video and I never planned to feature them in videos, but I did reread them this year to get me back into reading, so they are there in the pile. So yeah, I don't support the author. The author has not gained monetarily from me. If you want to read the author, that's fine, but I don't personally want to support them monetarily. So what I would say is, if you don't already own the books and you still want to read them, go to charity shops. There's always plenty there. Don't support monetarily and contribute that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention it because I wouldn't normally include the books that are problematic or have problematic authors in videos. But as this is an entire yearly wrap up, I also didn't want to like not include 7 books that are problematic. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. So let's get into it. In 2021 I read 109 books, which honestly for me that's so amazing and I'm so happy with that. This was really the year for me that I got back into reading. I haven't read properly in a few years, and because of that, at the start of the year I set myself a goal which I thought was so optimistic. I set myself a goal of 52 books and I was like, that'd be amazing to hit, and I've almost doubled it. No, in fact I've more than doubled it. The 109 books means that I complete the goal by 210%, which honestly, like, I'm so happy with. So yeah, I read 109 books in 2021. And I track my books using Goodreads, so a lot of the statistics that I'm going to be saying and bringing up came from Goodreads. A few of them are just from me, and a lot of the pictures, obviously, I organised and took. But yeah, the statistics I'm including are from Goodreads. They might be slightly off, but I feel like they're pretty close. So the 109 books translates to 33,927 pages, which is amazing. I mean, there are some books that I listen to as an audiobook, but I still owned them, so I just put whatever edition I actually own, so it'll count the pages that way. And yeah, this is a hell of a lot to read in a year. I am really happy with it, so yeah, I'm happy to continue on this sort of roll. And the 109 books and the 33,927 pages means that my average book length for 2021 was 311 pages. So that's really cool, that's really amazing, and it's around what I expected, to be honest. So for me, I probably would have guessed between 300 and 400 pages and the majority of books that I pick up. But in 2021 I did read quite a few books that were smaller than that, and I didn't read so many really big books this year, so that's about what I would have guessed, so yeah, happy with that. And my average rating for these was 3.7 stars, which I mean I'm happy with. Obviously the higher the rating, the better year I've had, but again, this has come from Goodreads, so on Goodreads it doesn't count half stars, so I will often rate things half stars and just mark it like as a comment, but on Goodreads it's only going to count it as a star, so I try and pretty evenly round up and round down when I do half stars, so 3.7 is probably fairly correct. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I'd love to improve it next year, because the higher the average rating, the better reading year I personally think I've had, because I've enjoyed more books. And I thought I'd also just include that my highest rated book according to like Goodreads and the Goodreads average ratings was Heartstopper Volume 4. I just thought I'd include it because it was a really amazing book, so extra shout out to Heartstopper Volume 4. And then there are my ratings of the books to talk about and go through. So I have actually made a couple of visuals for this, so I will pop them somewhere on the screen. Maybe if I move over to make sure that there's space. I'm on a beanbag, so I really shouldn't have spoken as I said that, but oh well. So in 2021 I gave 1 1-star rating, 3 1.5 star ratings, 5 2-star ratings, 4 2.5 star ratings, 14 3-star ratings, 11 3.5 star ratings, 45 4-star ratings, 10 4.5 star ratings, and 16 5-star ratings. And I feel like you can definitely see that sort of distribution in the graph that should hopefully be here. So yeah, and then I also made a pie chart to show it, because I just thought the percentages would be really interesting to look at. So from the pie chart you can see that 65.2% of the books that I rated and read this year I either gave 4 stars or higher. So 65.2% of the books I either gave 4, 4.5 or 5 stars to, which I mean I think that's amazing. I would love it to be more, but I'm really happy with that number. So let's get into some interesting visuals with the books. So all the books that are behind me are pretty much organised by spine colour, starting with black, purple, blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, whites, greys, and then kind of at the end the ones that don't fit into any of that because there's too many colours on the spine. So yeah, that's pretty much how those are organised, and I really do like this visual. I think it looks really cool. Then I've also taken some pictures of the books based on what colour is predominant on the cover of them. So here are the books with grey and white covers, so they're like monochrome type colours, and yeah, that's those. Then here are some with red covers, not that many, but okay. Orange covers, again pretty much the same. Yellow covers, then we've also got green covers, and then surprisingly there are so many blue covers. I mean, I don't know why, but I have noticed that blue seems to be a really popular spine colour as well. But yeah, I've read so many books with blue covers this year, it's pretty crazy. Then we've also got purple covers, pink covers, and black covers. And again, there's a lot of black, but that's not that surprising because I feel like I read a lot of fantasy and a lot of those are black based. So yeah, not that surprising for that one. And then last but not least are all of the books where there's too many colours on the cover for it to fit into just one colour. And that meant absolutely nothing at all. It has no basis for anything, but I thought it was interesting to look at and interesting to see. And then here are the books based on what month I read them in. As you can see here, January and February were my worst months in terms of books read, whereas September was the best month, closely followed by November. However, if we look at it in terms of 5 stars, then March was actually my best month because 3 out of the 8 books that I read during March I rated 5 stars, which is the best ratio. Then I also went through and organised the books earlier by age rating, and I'll pop that picture on now. I was so surprised with this that there's so many YA. I mean, I know I read a lot of YA, it's definitely, at least throughout the last like 5 years, it's been the most that I've read. But I really thought that this year I'd transitioned a bit more into adult. But yeah, there was definitely still so much more YA. Like, I expected YA to be the biggest age range of the books, like that wasn't a surprise, but it was a surprise just how many of them were YA. I kind of expected probably like half of a pile of YA to be over on the adult pile. That's kind of what I expected, I would say. But yeah, again, means nothing. I read what I read and I read what I enjoy, but I think it's really interesting. And then the last visual statistics are all of the genres. So I'm going to do this as a voiceover because I tried to do a stop motion picture, so I'll do it as a voiceover and talk about what all the genres are.
So here is just the empty space, obviously. Then all of these were some kind of fantasy. Not exactly sure what kind. It's quite a mixture, and I just wanted to pretty much group them together evenly, but that is all fantasy. Then next up we add in, I mean, these could technically all now be classed as science fiction, but these were the ones that were more dystopian based, I guess is the best way to say it. Then I added on the contemporary. There are a lot more contemporary than I was expecting, I am not going to lie. And I feel like I've realised I really enjoy the look of contemporary because they've really brightened up the bookshelves as well. Then graphic novels. Obviously these will fit within different categories and genres throughout, but I thought I'd just group them together to kind of see the amount of graphic novels that we read this year as well. Then on top of that is all of the non-fiction. There's not a great deal of these, and a lot of the non-fiction I read this year were short ones, but I'm really pleased that I'm at least starting to get more into non-fiction. I definitely want to continue this on. Then we have a couple of more mystery type books. The genres of like mystery and crime and all of that, I feel like they're quite broad, so that these two, there's only 2 books, so yeah, basically they go within those genres. Then we have one historical fiction book, and last but not least, one thriller book or mystery thriller. I don't know. Those genres are difficult to specify, I feel. But yeah, that was all of the books and all of the genres.
Then there are just a few statistics left that aren't necessarily relating to the books or anything like that, and they might not even be that exciting, but they're all things that I want to improve upon like year on year, so I just thought it'd be interesting to include them for my benefit to compare year to year. So the amount of books that I hauled this year was 309 books. In 2021 I hauled 309 books. I brought that many into the house, which honestly it's a difficult one because the average year I wouldn't be happy with that. I think that's way too many. Obviously I can't read that amount, but we didn't move into this house until November 2020, and I didn't start book shopping until 2021, and essentially because, you know, this is our first house that we've known we're living in for a long time and that I can actually keep books, and even when we're done in this house we'll still move to another like permanent residence. We're not gonna, I mean, fingers crossed, we're not going to have to rent again, we're not going to have to move back in with parents again, stuff like that. So I felt really confident buying books now and really being able to have the book collection I've always wanted. But also, so many of those books are from charity shops, and I've just been building back up series that I've already read and just want to reread, and books that I just want in my collection but I haven't had room for in the past, so I've been able to re-get them now. So my hope is that there'll be a massive improvement on that number next year. I'm hoping for less than 100 books next year. Like, I don't want to buy more than 100 books, and I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to think, so yeah. And then I also unhauled some books this year, so the amount that I can actually see that I've unhauled is 21. So during 2021 I've unhauled 21 books. And that's good, that's great, but I did also unhaul a few more than that because I've unhauled all of my duplicate copies of books. And I've never purposely got duplicate copies, but because I do shop in charity shops, sometimes I'm willing to pay like 25-50p for a copy that's not amazing, but then if I see it in another charity shop for £1 and like that copy's in pristine condition, like I would have been happy to pay an extra 25 or 50p for the pristine condition one, so I don't see it as a loss of getting a duplicate. But yeah, so there's probably more than 21. I reckon it's probably more like about 40 books I've unhauled this year, but I don't have a way to actually look at that and know for sure. So for definite, I've unhauled 21 books. Then the last thing that I really want to improve upon is the amount of books that we have in the house that I've actually read. So right now I've read 31.67% of the books that we have in the house. Which, I mean, it is what it is. My long-term goal is to have read 85% of the books in the house. And 85% might seem like a weird percentage. Why is it not 100? Well, I'll tell you why it's not 100. Basically, I live in this house, I read. My boyfriend Jay also lives in this house and also reads. And there is a small crossover between our tastes, but not that much. And of all the books in the house, which are obviously on my same spreadsheet because I don't want to go out and find a book interesting and bring it back if Jay's already brought it. So they're on the spreadsheet, and Jay owns 14.18% of the books in this house. And yeah, there are probably a handful of those that I would also be interested in reading, but the majority of Jay's books I don't want to read. So setting it to 100% books read that are in this house is just unrealistic, because there's some books of Jay's I don't want to read, but like Jay's entitled to have his books here as well. Like, so yeah, basically it's 85% because that's probably all of my books, and will probably pretty consistently stay that 85% of the books in this house are mine, and the 15% of books in the house are Jay's, just because of our reading rates and how we read and how many books we want to own physically as well. I love owning all of the books that I've read physically, whereas Jay doesn't care so much. He's also got books on Kindle and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the reason why the goal is 85%, but right now it is 31.67% of books in this house I've read. So yeah, those are all of my 2021 statistics and all the books that I've read. I really hope that you've enjoyed the video. This has taken me so long to make. I'm not gonna lie, like, I did not think this was going to be so complicated and so much work to do all of the like graphics that you've seen on the screen when I haven't been on the screen, but it really did take a long while, so I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please do consider giving the video a like, and if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe. I make multiple bookish videos a week, and during 2022 you'll find that I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so there'll always be videos available to watch. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!